Hi everyone. Knowing to write a SQL query for a particular scenario is different from knowing how to write a query by following best practices. This is the video for the beginners who are learning SQL and for the people who are preparing for interviews. So consider this scenario today, like you are a new member who joined the team of the new project and want to review the code which was already implemented and want to know what are the best practices they follow to write the code. Or maybe you are checking the code reviews and of your peers and want to know did they follow the best practices which they need to follow during the project. So let's get started to know what are the best practices to write a SQL code as a professional. So first, create table if not exists. So instead of using create table and table name and creating a table, use if not exists clause after the create table command. This will avoid creating the table if the table name already exists. Here, when you try to create a table that already exists, will result an error stating table already exists. To avoid such conflicts, we use if not exists clause with creatable command. There is no difference in syntax except the clause if not exists is used with the creatable command. Next, avoid select star. So unless it is necessary, don't use select star. Always list the columns explicitly in a query to create more maintainable and predictable code, because like you should always write queries to bring back the least amount of information which will be related to your scenario so that you can analyze that particular scenario instead of keeping all the data which is not required. Okay. Next, indentation. So instead of writing in the first form like select ID, name, address, everything in one single line, use it like in every column in having in other rows and all. Like indentation generally is for improving readability, and it makes easier to edit and read your code when each column has its own row. Okay. Next is avoid line wrapping. So squished code can be challenging to read, right? Especially when it gets lengthy. By avoiding line wrapping, you can improve readability here. As you can see on the screen, instead of getting clumsy, you can just give spaces and make it more readable. Next is using meaningful alias. So which is more intuitive? Employee table as E or employee table as employees. The main purpose of alias is to address the database tables with a shorter or more meaningful name with a SQL query without changing their original name in the database. So here, by using meaningful alias, SQL query will be more readable and easy to understand. So that's why we should use meaningful alias. Next is explaining your code with commits. So as in our scenario, if a new member in the team or someone is reviewing the code, or you want to get back to the code which you have written, so you can easily find out what's the code is working on. What is the purpose of that particular code? Okay, so generally code is read more than it's written, there will be many reviews, and the work will be like it will be mainly used for searching purposes as well. If you have to perform some specific action, you need to mention the comments. So these comments will make sure to explain the task, that your code is accomplishing, right? So next one is adopting a consistent naming convention. So here we have to follow some particular convention. Like if you want to follow camel casing, stick to it, and throughout the code base you need to follow that instead of as mentioned here. So next is uppercase. Just writing the cases, the keywords mainly like select, from, using these in uppercase makes it increases readability, and you can know what are the keywords and what they are performing in the query. So by using these practices, you will write a clean code as a professional, which is more readable. Let me know what are the some other best practices you can think of in the comments below. Thank you.